18 hours, yes, was a new benchmark. But you have a Yogeshwar Dutt, who's just won a bronze in wrestling. He lost a medal in Beijing and he had a knee injury. He got himself operated. The doctor said you may not be able to walk. For 1.5 years he did rehab, consistent rehab. He was in rehab. I mean, doctor said do it for 3 hours, he was doing it for 9 hours. And for the last 2.5 years, he has worked like a mad dog. He has worked 16 hours a day, and he's not worked like me, not just in an air-conditioned room, on a lovely billiard table, and and quietly moving around. No, sir. His work hard means there's a rope hanging down from that whatever that is, that ceiling, and he climbs it up. It's not as high as that, but 30 feet. And he climbs it up 50 times a day and climbs down. He does 500 push-ups every day. He does 15 kilometers running every day, and that's at 3:30 in the morning. That is hard work. So I think the message is, redefine hard work in your minds by the benchmarks set up by a Pulela Gopichand or by a Yogeshwar Dutt. The second story happened in 1984, so there is no chronology that I am following in the stories. The second story happened in 1984. I had still not won a world title, but I had just defeated Michael Ferreira in a national championship, and everybody told me you need to go to England to get exposure at the highest competition. In 1984, my father was towards the end of his career in the Ministry of Civil Aviation. He was in the air traffic control tower, and his salary was 3,500 rupees per month. It isn't as bad as it sounds now. It was a decent amount of money, but it wasn't huge money. I had already got a job with Tomco, Tata Oil Mills, and I went up to my boss, V.K. Bali, the president, and I said, "Sir, I have won the national billiard championship and I need to go. Everybody's telling me to go to England." This was 1984, early 1984, to get exposure and to get experience and to understand what top level billiards and snooker is. So I need to go and I don't have money. He said, "How much money do you have?" I said, "Sir, I have about 16,000 rupees in my bank account," which was the equivalent of about $500 US. He picked up the phone, he told his admin, "Prepare an air ticket for Geet for whenever he wants to go." He offered me the air ticket. I took it. I collected all my money, collected $500 US, and with two other fellow players, Sanjay Sawant and O.B. Agrawal, who later went on to win the World Snooker Championship in November of 1984. But this was April of 1984. We caught an Air India flight. My first time out of the country, we caught an Air India flight and landed in London. We knew nobody in London. I had 500 USD, O.B. Agrawal had 600 USD, because we were allowed only 500 USD. So O.B. Agrawal was a brave guy. He hid $100 in his socks. Those were the days, huh? And we landed in the UK, and people told us, "You're going with 500 USD, what happens, And I said, "When the money runs out, I have a return ticket. I'll come back, but I'm going." The first tournament that we played at Pontins in Wales, in Prestatyn, I reached the pre-quarters. O.B. Agrawal and Sanjay Sawant reached the pre-quarters. We got a prize money of £25 each. And as we finished the event, we collected our prize money and went for a second event. We stayed 2 days in a hotel, went for another event. We lost in the second round of that event. In a week's time, our $500 converted in pounds at the time was about 300 pounds. We were down to about 200 pounds in a week's time. And into our second tournament, having lost in the second round, we were already thinking of, when do I go back? And as we packed our bags and we were walking from the car park to across the road into the bus station to take a bus for our third tournament, which was in Northampton, we passed a car, and there was a gentleman who had his dicky, or whatever you call it, of his car. It was a red color Mercedes Benz, a very old Mercedes. It was open, and he saw us with our bags walking, And we passed him very close, and he said, hello. So we said, hello. He said, I saw you three play inside, and you all seem very good players. So he said, yeah, we are good players. I'm the national champion. He's the national snooker champion. Yeah, where are you from? We are from India. He said, oh, you're from India. He said, my ancestors were from India. He was a Kenyan Patel. And this is exactly how the conversation went. And then, so in his 60th second, he asked us, and where are you going now? And we said, we are going to Northampton, where our next tournament is after 3 days. So we are going to search for a hotel. We'll go to Northampton, search for a hotel, and in the 66th second, he said, no, you're not going to Northampton. He picked up our bags, put them in his dicky, and said, you're coming home with me. All three of you are coming home with me. And I was in 84, 23. We were all 23, 25. He had just been recently married. He was a car mechanic. He was on the dole. He had no job at the time. He picked up our bags, and there was no mobile phone. And we took the car. We sat in his car. We were in a daze. We sat in the car, and he took us straight to Luton, a very small lane, a very lower middle class house, 18 Darbar Lane in Luton. He parked the car, rang the bell. His wife of 2 months opened the door, and we spent 3 months in their house. He had a 2-bedroom house. One of the bedrooms his mother stayed, one he and his wife, and we slept on the drawing room. 3 months, he was unemployed. He took us everywhere. He gave us a home. The very next tournament, I won. I won the tournament and got a prize money of £3,000. It was 2 years' salary of my dad, or just under 2 years' salary. But that incident, it transformed my perspective, and it gave me the opportunity to not only excel in England, but to become a complete player. So what is the message that I drive or I come across from this story? And it is this, that there is a universe out there. It's arranging itself in intricate patterns to assist us. What else can I say? I don't know whether I believe in destiny, but it's an intricate pattern. This intricate pattern assisted me. There are intricate patterns which are perhaps hindering me, but I firmly believe that these patterns of the universe are working, and if you keep looking and if you keep recognizing them, you will find more often than not that there are lots of positive patterns that are emerging in your life, that have emerged in your life, and that will continue to emerge in your life. And I think it's a message in humility, that I'm not doing this all on my own. It's not the power of Geet Sethi or a Umaji, 5-all. It's not my power that is making me do this, but that there is a universe. And millions of factors are arranging themselves so that I can achieve or perform at a particular level.
Good evening. Thank you for coming here, and thank you for Chogles to bringing you here. My question is, what is the Billiards Association doing to spread the game around, and tell about the different local, state and national competitions that are being held?
I can't, the mic, I can't get it.
I'll just repeat what he said. What is the Billiard Association doing to spread the game around the world?
Well, they are trying their best to make a sport which is very complicated and which is very technical. They're trying to popularize it. You know, I'm going to digress a bit and take off. It's a good question. See, the thing is, which are the most popular sport in the world? Which is the most popular sport in the world?
Athletics, football?
Football.
Yes.
It is the most popular sport in the world. I'm talking world. Why is it popular? Because it's so easy to understand. It's so easy to understand. You have a goal and you have a ball and you've got to get the ball in the goal. My sport is hugely technical and it's very, very, very difficult to understand. 2 points if I do a white in-off, 3 points if I do a red in-off, 2 points if I get a cannon. I mean, come on, if I just even say it, it sounds so complicated. So it's a difficult sport to spread worldwide. But they're trying. They're constantly trying. But at the end of the day, you may try as much, but if the public doesn't want to watch a sport, there's just that much you can do. Sailing is a really technical sport. Umaji, you're 5'4" up.
One thing that we all know though is billiards is an extremely quiet game. You have to intensely focus at the table. Has there been any really hilarious moment which has erupted in all your years of playing, which sticks in memory that you could share with us?
What moment?
A hilarious moment, a funny moment, something memorable at that time.
Hilarious moment. I was playing a guy called TV Gupta. This is so funny. TV Gupta is this really large guy from Chennai, and he, I mean, I'm not being racist in any way. I'm just saying it as a joke. He's really black, okay? He's completely black, and he used to always play in white pants, white shirt, and white chappal. And TV Gupta had this huge stomach, okay? Massive stomach. He would eat like 35, 40 idlis. He would eat 45 idlis for breakfast before he would come. And I was playing him in a local Chennai tournament, and we were playing snooker. So, you know, he had his white ball, his cue ball was a little far off, and he couldn't play with the rest. So he had to stretch. So he had to really stretch, and there were a few, in snooker you have a lot of balls, so there was 2-3 balls near the cushion. So he stretched, he took in his stomach, and he stretched like that, and he was about to play the stroke, but as he was playing, he exhaled. And instead of hitting the ball, suddenly 2-3 balls spotted from his stomach. It was such a hilarious moment. The whole crowd came down here. Huh?